Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to all. I'm Siti Munirah, binti Muhammad Adnan from Faculty of Leadership and Management, University Science Islam Malaysia. Would like to present about my study titled Life Satisfaction, Depression and Marital Satisfaction among Housewives in Malaysia. This presentation is specially done for International Conference on Social Science and Humanities. Let's begin with some introduction about this study. Alright, according to a report by Hazanah Research Institute on 2018, it was found that 2.6 million of women in Malaysia who are well educated and in their prime working age are not participating in the labour force, right? There are several reasons that hinder that woman from participating in labour force. Among the reasons are their self-decision to be a full-time housewife, culture and gender pressure, husband decision to have them to be full-time housewife. Another reason is lack of awareness among employers on women's reproductive issues, lack of support from spouse, social expectations, and lack of trust in childcare centres. These are among reasons that prevent these women from participating in the labour force. These are some articles found in the internet that discuss about issues on mental health and well-being among housewives. According to Dr. Nurbaiyah Muhammad Bakri, housewives are vulnerable to depression since they are burdened with daily house chores and child upbringing. It was also reported that 37.4% of housewives are at risk of hypertension due to physical, mental and emotional fatigue. A tight daily routine in doing house chores and managing children contribute to their emotional stress. In addition to that, they are also prevented from having social interaction with people outside their home. Therefore, housewives always feel alienated, isolated, and perceived to receive a lack of social support. Therefore, this present study is aimed to first investigate whether life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia correlates with variables of mental health and satisfaction of marriage. And the second one is to investigate the differences on life satisfaction based on the housewife's educational level, economic level, as well as participation in social activities. There are 6 research objectives highlighted in this current study. The first objective is to determine the correlation between depression and life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia. The second objective is to determine the correlation between marital satisfaction and life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia. The third objective is to determine the correlation between marital satisfaction and depression among housewives in Malaysia. The fourth objective is to investigate the differences in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their socio-economic status. The fifth objective is to compare the differences in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their educational level. And the final objective is to compare life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their involvement in social activities. This study is a quantitative study and use convenience and snowball sampling technique. The target population is housewives aged 20 to 60 years old and live in Peninsular Malaysia. And the analysis is done use person conduct moment relation, one-way ANOVA, and t-test. And the respondent involved in this study was 398 respondents, and the psychometric tools used are satisfaction with life scale, back depression inventory, and Emirates marital satisfaction scale, which had been translated into Malay language. Okay, now let's look to the result and discussion for this current study. Majority of the respondent is coming from this group, 31 until 40 years old, with 192 respondents. Majority of them also are Malay with 380 respondents. And majority of respondents in this current study are Muslim with 393 of respondents. And majority of respondents are degree holder with 169 of respondents. And for monthly income or household income, majority of them is coming from the group of 3,001 until 10,000 ringgit Malaysia of household income with 193 respondents. And finally, 282 of the respondents are not actively participate in any social activity or social participation. The first objective in this study is to determine the correlation between depression and life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia. As shown in this table, there was a negative correlation between depression and life satisfaction, which was statistically significant. This result is similar with previous studies made by Maverick et al. 2016 and Tamanifar et al. 2019, whereby housewives were less satisfied with their life and more depressed compared to employed married women, and there was significantly negative relationship between depression and life satisfaction. Lack of chance to establish social contact outside home, lack of social support, and lack of financial independence made housewives vulnerable to face depression, thus affect their level of satisfaction with life. Okay, now we move to the second objective for this current study, which is to determine the correlation between marital satisfaction and life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia. As shown in this table, there was a positive correlation between marital satisfaction and life satisfaction, which was statistically significant. It means that when marital satisfaction increase, the life satisfaction will also increase. According to Kasapoglu and Yan Banigul, 2018, there are numerous studies that demonstrates significant positive correlation between life satisfaction and marital satisfaction. Issues of economics or financial stability of the family is also one of the factors that can influence marital satisfaction of an individual. Having high income and better employment, for example, contribute to increased marital satisfaction. In addition to that, recent local study shows that Malaysian women with higher job status and higher income experience high satisfaction of marriage. The third objective in this current study is to determine the correlation between marital satisfaction and depression among housewives in Malaysia. As shown in the table, there was a negative correlation between marital satisfaction and depression, which was statistically significant. The result of this current study is similar to a study made by Taufik et al. 2018. In their study, among 60 working married men and married women in Putrajaya, Malaysia, it was revealed that there was a significant positive relationship between marital satisfaction and mental health. Other study made by ICOSAH et al. 2019 found that non-working married women in their study who receive higher social support will experience higher marital adjustment and less stress, anxiety, and depression. It means that when an individual feels with higher marital satisfaction, there will less feel of depression. Right. So now let's look to the fourth objective of this current study, which is to investigate the differences in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their socio-economic status. As shown in the table, there was a statistically significant difference in life satisfaction among housewives based on their socio-economic level as determined by one-way ANOVA. Life satisfaction among housewives with higher household income is higher compared to the life satisfaction among housewives with lower household income. This current study is similar to other previous study made by Gary and Shimek, which found that higher household income will make higher life satisfaction among respondents. The fifth objective in this current study is to compare the differences in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their educational level. This current study found that there was no statistically significant difference in life satisfaction among respondents based on their educational level as determined by one-way ANOVA. This table shows multiple comparison on life satisfaction among housewives based on their educational level. Overall, the table shows that there is no significant difference on life satisfaction among respondents based on their educational level, since they all show values of P more than 0.05. Although most studies found educational level might influence life satisfaction, this current study is still supported by other studies made by Javed et al. 2016 and Asparyanti et al. 2017, whereby they found there was no significant difference in women well-being based on their educational level. To explain this phenomenon in this current study, although there is no significant difference in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their educational level, the mean score for life satisfaction among housewives who are degree holder was higher compared to housewives with less educational level. when the postgraduate category of housewife was combined with housewife with degree holder, it is believed that the mean level of satisfaction among housewives with tertiary education is higher than the housewife with lower educational level. The final objective in this study is to compare life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their involvement in social activity. A t-test was performed to analyse the differences in life satisfaction according to the respondents' involvement in social activity. Housewives who were involved in social activity score higher life satisfaction compared to those housewives who were not involved in any social activity. According to Amati et al. 2018, social activity is positively associated with life satisfaction of individual, whereby having social relationship allows one to have good physical and mental health conditions. The correlation between social support and social participation was strong as proven in many previous studies. Having social support is important to reduce psychological distress. This current study was also supported by a study made in Indonesia by Sari et al., whereby it was found that higher social support as well as higher self-efficacy could reduce stress among respondents who were 200 educated housewives in that study. As for conclusion, this study found that there is significant correlation between depression and life satisfaction. There is also significant correlation between marital satisfaction and life satisfaction, as well as significant correlation between marital satisfaction and depression. Other than that, this study also found that there is significant difference in life satisfaction among housewives in Malaysia based on their socio-economic status and participation in social activity. And last but not least, there is no significant differences in life satisfaction among respondents based on their educational level. However, there are several limitations involved in this study. This study is only involve housewives living in Peninsular Malaysia. The other limitation is other demographic profile had not been analysed, such as age, residential area, and others. The other limitation is questionnaire were distributed online and self-administered. Therefore, it might be open to bias. For recommendation, it is recommended for future study to explore the psychological well-being specifically for housewife population in Malaysia. Because according to Cranny and Miles 2016, housewives make up significant portion of the population but have been largely neglected in social scientific literature. I hope that all of you have benefit from my presentation today, and thank you very much for all of your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.